being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for what some might...
It's a lot of fire.
It's a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny?
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of the United States.
I wasn't representing anybody except for me.
Around the world.
And doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die. Superman! Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Your choices. Your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
You have a dog?
Shalom, shalom, Yasharala. I want to start off first things first, with all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rakadash. Mention the petty Hubaton. Let's correct names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to you sister brothers living in this truth, and shalom to you brothers and sisters that's listening and studying to show yourselves approved. Whoa, this seen a good one, Yasharala. This seen a good one, man. That was the preview of the movie Superman. I seen it a couple days ago. I took my children to go see it. I didn't have high hopes for that movie. I wasn't gonna go see it. I seen it got a lot of bad reviews. The Edomites didn't like it. I was told the movie was no good. Now, my children, my seeds, they are dog lovers. And they like Superman. I like Superman. You know, I like the last one they did, The Man of Steel. So my children's like, oh, Daddy, we want to see Superman. Let's go see Superman. So I'm like, okay, we can go see Superman. So I went to go see this movie, Yasharala, expecting to see some crap, you know, something that was just messed up. I just letting the children, you know, stretch their legs a bit, eat some popcorn, and watch a little movie they wanted to see. And boy, was it a very spiritual movie. I see why the Edomites didn't like the movie. Because this movie dealt with so many issues that we're dealing with right now. It was very spiritual. Let me say that, Yasharala. That's why I'm doing an Israelite review on this movie. Very, very spiritual. And spoilers, you know, if you don't like spoilers, come back to it later. I'm not going to give away the movie. I'm going to just give an overview of it to tell you the spiritual significance of it. Because it has some twists in there. The movie threw me for a curveball. Usually I can guess and predict the movie, but this one kind of threw something in there I didn't see coming. And I like the movie. Very spiritual. And the first thing I'm gonna start out, what let me know it was so spiritual, is because one of the big reasons the plot lines in the movie was like if Superman was a citizen or not, because they considered him an alien. They said he was not from planet Earth, so he doesn't deserve to live on planet Earth. And they was basically talking about deporting Superman. I'm like, we dealing with that right now. So they was all like, nah, man, we don't want this dude here. He's this, he that. They was fighting. Basically, he was banging with his citizenship and his identity. His identity crisis, and whether he's a citizen, whether he belongs with humans or not. And then I like the dude they had playing Lex Luthor. This is the best Lex Luthor they ever had done in the Superman movies, because he embodied Donald Trump, and he embodied Elon Musk in the one. And I loved it. I mean, he showed that he looked like your average skinhead Edomite, and he played that role to a T. You're dealing with rich elite bankers, and he represented that. And he hated Superman based on the gifts that he was blessed with. You know, he hated Superman for the blessing that he had. Because even though he had the money and the status, he can never do what Superman did, the natural abilities he had, based on him being a Kryptonian. And it's the same thing with us, based on us being Israelites. We're blessed from the Lord. And Lex Luthor let it be known that he was jealous of that. He hated that. Because he wanted to be Superman, but he wasn't. So what did he do? He attacked his right to live on planet Earth. And I said, boy, that's so spiritual. And the movie got good action. The pacing is good. Like I said, the dude that played Lex Luthor did a good job. The dude that played Superman did a good job. It was a different type of Superman. It was a vulnerable Superman that is like not as strong, but I liked it because it showed the struggle. Because they had enemies that could fight Superman in this movie. And he get beat down like Jake get beat down in this system. And I had to overcome. So I'm going to start out with this first one. Because the big dynamic that Superman has his main villain, Lex Luthor. And it showed the plot line. It was them going at each other throughout the whole movie. And you find out the whole reason why Lex Luthor hated Superman. And it reminds me of right here, Genesis 27 and 41. This is the same thing. Because it shows why Esau hates Jake. Because Superman represents Jake in that movie, believe it or not. Because that's your 144,000, that's your saints. I'm going to get more precepts to back that up. Because the saints are going to be super when Yahushua gives out those spiritual gifts. And he gets strong. Superman gets his strength from the sun, the S-U-N. We get our strength from the S-O-N, the Son, the one begotten Son, Yahushua. That's who our strength is. And you'll see that in the movie. You know, you'll see Superman getting strength from the sun, which symbolically represents where we get our strength from. So I connected that. And then I also connected why Lex Luthor hated Superman, because I looked at it like Jacob versus Esau. And check it out. This is Genesis 27 and 41. It says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of my mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. You hear that? So that was the plot in the movie. That precept was the plot of the movie. Lex Luthor hated Superman based on the blessings that he had. Superman was blessed. Super strength, flight, heat ray vision. That's what Lex Luthor hated him for. And then Superman, because of those blessings, those abilities, the public loves Superman. Just like the world is starting to fall in love with Yashrala all over again. They're starting to recognize our gifts, our blessings from Yahushua. The whole world's starting to see that. And Esau is making him very upset, very angry. And he about to come down with great wrath because of that. Because the blessing is really starting to shine on us in this day and time. And you'll see that dynamic in the movie. And I like how they do. He showed the rage, the wrath. Every time Superman got loose or destroyed his plans, you'll see him get real pissed off, mad, abuse his employees. You'll see him turning red, his original color, and he just raging out. Because I hate this dude. And just like in that precept said, Lex Luthor was trying to unalive Superman. First he wanted to disgrace him, then he wanted to unalive him. because he felt like he took his shine, just like Esau felt like we took their blessing. It's the same dynamic, and that dynamic was all the way running through the movie. Very spiritual, y'all, Sharala. Very, very spiritual. And then I want to get on this too, since we talk about Superman's abilities. You know, the super strength, the flight, that's all in the Bible. And I think that's one thing that pissed Lex Luthor off. You'll see Superman doing a lot of flight in this movie, flying all over the place. I like that they showed that. You'll see a lot of Superman putting his powers on display, a lot of action. So this is Isaiah 40 and 31. It says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." You hear that? They say it's mount up with wings like eagles. Flight. When we get that spiritual power from Yahweh Bashiach Shah, brothers are going to have that power of flight. So brothers are going to be able to fly at super speed, like Superman. They said run and not be faint. Unlimited energy. Ain't going to be no such thing as fatigue. Because why? We're going to have new bodies. Our strength is going to be renewed. We're going to have super strength. Just like Superman got it. That's coming in real life. You can read accounts of Samson. He had super strength in the Bible. Spiritual power was real. It is really about the flex. When Esau come down with great wrath, trying to use his technology, you see Lex Luthor use that. He fights Superman using his technology. Things that he done created, cooked up in the laboratory in order to fight Superman. And then the one thing I noticed in the movie, Superman went through an identity crisis. Because Lex Luthor slandered Superman. Like he came, used his AI, used the media. This is like they're going to do to us in real life. Lex Luthor used the media to turn the world against Superman and make him seem like the bad guy. Lex Luthor was the good guy. We see that in the media all the time. So I'm going to go get this precept. And I like how they show that dynamics. When that dynamic happened, Superman started to doubt himself, especially on his origins. You know, he started to doubt himself. So let's go get right here. Psalms 101 and 5. "Whoso privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that have a high look and a proud heart will not I suffer." And you'll see that in the movie, and you'll see that in real life. Esau always slanders the children of Israel. Lex Luthor used the media because he had so much money to slander Superman. And what the Lord say? You slander if your neighbor, he'll do what? He gonna cut you off. You're gonna see, hey, Lex Luthor get cut off. Based on, you know, because he did slander, man. He slandered Superman. He brought up a lie. He turned the people against Superman, brought him down low so that he can get down there and unalive him. He wanted to do it in a very torturous, slow, diabolical way. Just how Esau Edom does. When they bring up their rope and do lynching, and they watch you choke to death, that's Esau's spirit. You see that in the movie, and then you see it in real life. That's why Esau didn't like that movie, because that's them looking in the mirror. You know, they didn't connect to Superman because they was portraying him as an immigrant. Like, you're not from this planet. You don't belong here. Superman like, I can't go back home. My planet blew up. I can't go back home. I've been living here. I grew up here. You know, Superman was pleading his citizenship. And they was like, no. And then he bring up the slander. He came to that program. The people was like, oh, yeah, he got to go. And then, you know, Lex Luthor did his thing. And then, you know, people started to see like, oh, no, man. Like Donald Trump. Lex Luthor made promises. And then the people seen it was bad. He lied. They, oh, no. We need Superman back. He lied. And we going through that right now with Donald Trump. And you'll see that in that movie. And, man, that was a very good, very deep spiritual movie, y'all, Sharala. And you're going to see that dynamic. Oh, and wait till you see how he did it. I ain't going to let that be known how he slandered Superman. But you'll see that technology. And I can just see in the future they're going to do that to us Hebrew Israelites. They're going to do the same thing. And that's just, hey, the Lord said you'll be persecuted for my name's sake. So it's going to happen. You seen that dynamic in the movie. Oh, something else you seen in the movie. Well, I ain't going to bring that up. I'm going to let y'all watch it. I ain't going to bring that part up. But there's a lot of spiritual things happen, y'all, Sharala. A lot of spiritual things. Matter of fact, I am going to go get it. Cause Superman, guess what, Yashrala? You gonna see police brutality. Superman got treated like a Jake because they had a force they could fight him. So, you know, when they slandered him, they like, oh, you under arrest for this, this, and that. And then they went and they beat him down. They ain't just say you under arrest. They put emphasis on Superman when they put him under arrest. And guess what? He got tossed in jail, which is also highlighting those concentration camps because he got put in a high-tech one. So I'm like, that's flexing concentration camps. Superman done went to jail. So this right here shows Revelation 2 and 10. I thought about this when Superman got basically put in a new type of concentration camp. This Revelation 2 and 10 says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And you'll see Superman display that in the movie. You know, he gets put in jail, tortured, and basically trying to break him. And Superman didn't let it break him, even though he was in a very, very bad spot. He didn't let it crack. And we're going to do that same thing in real life, right? When the devil come down with great wrath and start deporting people and declares that we're against the state, against the Babylon the Great, hey, we can get thrown in a concentration camp, and they can be torturing us in there. And at that point, we cannot give up the faith. We got to keep our faith in Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. And I like how they showed that scene in the movie, man. That was very big. I caught that too. Very spiritual. But I say it was a lot of spiritual things happening in that movie. So I see why it didn't make big money as they wanted or expected, because Esau didn't like it, calling it woke and all of that. And really, it was a big mirror to Esau Edom, is why he didn't like it. Like, if I was an Edomite, I probably wouldn't like that movie either, especially if I'm racist. Because, like, they don't want to hear what they call political things in their movies. But I'm like, bro, it's spot on. Because this is what's going on in the world right now. I don't know what Esau was expecting. To me, it was a very great Superman movie. He was saving people. This Superman saved a whole lot of people. Hey, doing a lot of things that, but it represents Yahshua. That's what it is. This Superman in this movie, he showed too much Jake type of qualities. So I think that they couldn't identify with the Superman, especially when he was considered an immigrant. That makes it like Jake. They want that all-American white man Superman. I don't know what they expect him to do, because Superman always saved people. They just want that white supremacists in their movies, and I guess that's not the spirit right now. The spirit is us. So our likenesses is getting all in the movie, and that's just really the presence of Yahweh being felt. And that's what it was in that movie. That's why they didn't like it. Yahweh's presence was majorly felt in this movie. And Yasharallah. Highlighted Yasharallah and Yahweh. I was just feeling it all throughout the movie, Yasharallah. And let me keep it moving. Oh, I'm gonna bring this up too, because this is something I noticed too. In the movie, Superman went through an identity crisis. Lex Luthor broke him down, uses his parents against him that was from Krypton, and he went through identity crisis, man. He started doubting himself. You see Lois Lane's putting pressure on him in the clip. Everybody's questioning him, saying he was doing wrong, and he even questioned himself. But what I like is that when he got to his lowest point, he went back home. And see, in this Superman movie, I like they didn't kill off his father. His father and his mother was still there. He grew up on a farm in Kansas, so he flew back home because he didn't know what else to do. And he talked to his pops. And that talk he had with his pops, hey, man, it was like the law. It was like the words of Yahweh Shai. It set him up. It put him right back on top to do what he needed to do to be, Superman. It got his mind right. And that's what these scriptures do for us, the word. It gets our mind right. So now the world can't dictate and project us to what we need to be and what we are. Our identity is of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua, this truth. Being a Hebrew Israelite, this walk, that's our identity. And when you got your identity, you're able to walk in the world real strong like. And in the movie, that was a big plot line in it, because he lost who he was. He was low in the spirit. Like, am I really doing bad? Did everybody hate me? Should I really go and leave? So he flew back home to his pops, his father, And his father just straight up like told him, you know, what he needed to hear. Like, you know, forget what everybody say. You know, you are what your actions are. Basically, you know, your works, your faith, what you believe in. Forget what they say. What do you believe that you're doing? So his father juiced him back up so he could be that, and that's us. And I got a precept that it reminded me of, and it's Proverbs 1:8, and it says, "My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother." You peep that? So your parents has been highlighting this precept. And he said, hear the instruction of thy father. And if our fathers in their right minds, when you look at the heavenly father, that's the instruction you should go by, which is this word, the laws and commandments. So we hear the instruction of a heavenly father, and then we hear, you know, big bro, the savior, Yahweh, and that's what juices us back up. That lets us know what we're doing is right, is righteous, and this is the way we're supposed to walk. And it said, forsake not the law of thy mother. What's the law of thy mother? It's these scriptures, the truth. And that's what Superman did. He went back home. His mama cooked him up a meal, you know, talked to him. And then, you know, he set out and his father talked to him. You know, he was like, man, Pops, am I really this and that? Should I do this? Pops like, man, look here, man, we raised you. Hey, you know what type of man you are. You're a good man. And what you do, you want to save people. And if you want to save people, you go out and you save people. Forget what they talking about. And he went out and did that. That gave him the juice to be, you know, what he needed to be. And it messed Lex Luthor up. Why? Because he went back and listened to instructions, man. He remembered who he was. See, he had to renew his mind. He had to be born again in the movie. And what does it mean to be born again? That means to change your mind, repent. So I'm going to go get Romans 12:2. Because he had to change the way he think in order to get back at Lex Luthor. Because Lex Luthor used the world to beat him down. You know, he used the people. And people so fickle, they'll turn on you in a second, man. So you can't never just put your faith in the people of the world. Because they're in darkness. And they go by whatever sorcery the media Esau cook up. They'll believe it. They went from like believing in Superman, oh, Superman the best whatever. Man, Lex Luthor ran a little slander campaign. They all, get out of here. You stinking immigrant. No, man. And then look, check it out, Yashara. The thing in the movie was they thought Superman was gonna take over the world and impregnate a bunch of women. So they didn't want Superman spreading the seed around and basically put that he ravished women. They put that type of thing on him. Well, how they slander, you know, the apostle elders of Great Millstone. Saying the same thing. You'll see that in the movie. And that was the whole thing. They put it out there. They believed it when they seen it. They ain't even question it. They like, oh, I see it on TV. It's true. Superman, you a fraud. They was throwing stuff at him. And get out of here. This is Earth. You don't belong on Earth. You an alien. You know, all that little record. I was like, dang. That's the thanks you get, huh? You know, then it was so bad they even put a case on them. Made up some false charges and sent them to jail. And Luthor like, yeah, I'm about to run through the people now with your dumb butts. So Superman was all broke down because he lost the love of the people. You know, but he had to love himself and get back his strength to do what he needed to do. And this is Romans 12:2. And it says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, that acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. And how do we do that? We do that through these scriptures, man. Our mind got to be renewed. We can't think with a worldly mindset, because that'll have you going off. That'll have you down in the spirit. So your mind got to be renewed in this truth so that you can be strong and endure to the end. Like in this movie, I know that's the one thing that was highlighting this movie. Superman showed incredible endurance in this movie. Like, he got whooped around a lot. He took a lot of beating down. I mean, the most beating you'll ever see Superman take in a movie. But what did he do? He endured and he overcame. And I like that. It shows struggle. As strong as he is, you know, they still have people that can, you know, put hands on Superman. And it showed, too, that he also won based on, you know, it was like the standard getting lifted. Like other things that happened to help Superman out. At one point, like, he was done for. Then the dog kicked in. Crypto. That was the whole reason we went to go see the movie. Was Crypto the super dog. Like, they didn't count for that. And then at one point, you know, that's what really pissed Superman off, man, when Lex Luthor went after the dog. You know, that's why I can't believe Esau didn't like the movie. You know, they dog lovers. Shoot, they dog kicked in. It was a rap, man. Then he had some other that showed it was like the Young Justice League. So you see like Guy Gardner. They had a new Jake called Mr. Terrific. I really liked his character. I liked his swag in it. He had that 1960s swag, like right on. What up, Jive Turkey? You know, I like that actor that had it. He put him in more movies and really old school movies, so he could show that old Jake flavor. You know, he had that Afro type of swag to him. Like, what up, sexy lady? Watch this. I'm Mr. Terrific. Back up. You know, I liked it that. Then it had like I ain't like Hawk Girl. They should have went with an Edomite. I didn't like how they portrayed her. But it was a Northern Tribe chick that had this being Hawk Girl. So you'll see a lot of different superheroes. They got some new villains I never seen before. They was giving Superman props. Oh, you see that standard get lifted up too. You'll see him seeing a bunch of troops and Superman like a flood. And oh man, hey, we get that spiritual power. It's gonna be no joke. So, I mean, I say, man, you could wait for it on streaming. You ain't really got to spend no money on it. But say if you bored and you want to see a real spiritual movie, I highly recommend it. Very, very good spiritual movie. A good watch, good action. You'll see a lot of action in it. This is a real good movie, man. A lot of spiritual stuff in it. Like loaded. Because I don't think I even covered everything. But I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't, man. You see, the Lord really makes our goings of, you know, the Lord got our steps. Because I wasn't intended to see that movie. You know, my children like, oh, Daddy, I want to see Superman. I want to see Crypto the Super Dog. I'm like, okay, we can see it. So I went to it expecting to see trash. And, man, I was treated to a good spiritual treat. I was like, wow, because Superman represents the 144,000. And I like seeing spiritual power on display. Like, all those things Superman displayed in the movie are feats that's going to become reality. And that movie had so much spiritual significance in it. It was just dripping loaded with precepts. Like, damn, I'm looking like, devil, did you read the Bible before you did that movie? Like, how'd you do that with? But I think that was the Lord doing that for us, people that's like, you know, superhero lovers. I always liked the Superman. Before I knew the connections, you know, Kal-El is Paleo-Hebrew for all power. So let you know these devils know what they doing. They making these heroes just based off of the scriptures. And I always had a connection to it, and now I understand the connection. I really do. Because we about to, hey, us men of Israel, we about to be Superman, Lord willing. We are those men. You know, we putting in work for it. And you know, Lord willing, we get those new bodies, and we get to be that. So it's good to see that. And it was a big faith booster to me when I seen it. And I recommend you brothers, man, if y'all want to see something spiritual, to check out that new James Gunn Superman movie. Very spiritual. So with that being said, you know, hope it's been edifying. I want to say Kwam Yashar Allah and stay locked in, because Yahweh Shah is quickly on the way. Shalom.